Here's a good one. I like this one. So, what's up with all the guys that show up to class wearing a ton of gear? Do they really need it?
Oh, man.
The gear queers.
I'm the worst.
Well, come on, we're all gear queers.
I'm not. I am the absolute.
Are you a minimalist?
Oh, God, yeah. I don't.
Now, see, I say I'm a minimalist too, and then I go through my kit in my garage, and I'm like, where did I get all this stuff from?
Well,
now
yeah,
I don't
I
use
have
it.
a lot of stuff.
Right.
But yeah, I don't.
We're collectors.
I am light and slick on everything. So.
That was your nickname in gym class, Light and Slick. You're just, hey, oh, Keller's behind the bleachers again. You're looking for a prom date. No, it goes back to.
What? Are you a gear guy?
No, well.
Like
Hey, RoboCop.
Sounds like you got a lot of gear.
It goes back to that same thing too. Like until you get in that first tick, you know, you get that first contact. Yeah. You know what you show up to in country day one, and then what your gear looks like. You know, month 6, like it's completely changed. And
Yeah, I'm not carrying this.
Yeah.
I'm not carrying that. I haven't used this in 3 months.
Yep.
I don't need it.
the utility of cool equipment that has very limited application. You know, like get rid of it right away. And it's a learning thing. You have to learn. I think you have to go through that period where you want to buy new gear because it's cool. There is.
And there's benefits to new gear. Yep. For sure. Like, I'm not a guy that's going to say, you know what, this thing that I'm using is the best thing ever. Nothing's ever going to be created better than this thing. But replace that thing. Yeah. Don't keep them both. Or don't try to use them both.
Well, it's like how many holsters have you guys gone through?
Geez.
Like exactly.
Yeah. And
Bob's
then you
like, holster. I just walk around with my pistol in my hand all the time.
Yeah.
Like, you guys don't? Like,
how are you going to be in a ready status if you don't have your pistol in your hand? Well, you know, I'm of the same mindset. I keep things as simple as I possibly can, but I also try to look at options that have more than one purpose. We all do that, and we do that because we've all been in situations where we had to carry way too much high-speed, lightweight gear. Mm-hmm. Well, 120 pounds of high-speed, lightweight gear weighs 120 pounds. Yeah. If I can start to minimize, or if I can start to have one thing that does 3 things.
Yeah. Well, and the problem is people have never done it for real. Right. They see pictures. Yeah. They see the movies. Well, usually more looks cooler, right? Yeah. Like when you have a bunch of shit. Well, so that's what people think is the norm. True. Well, until you put all that shit on and keep it on for 10 or 12 hours, you don't realize
4 weeks and weeks at a time.
How sucky it is. So
come here, Ranger.
All they know is what they see on TV and what they see in magazines. So, you know, it's not their fault by all means. You know, by any means. They come to the class, like the first thing usually I'll do is like, you don't need this, or this. You know, but they don't.
You don't need that.
They don't know any different.
Holster.
And even keeping that stuff on for an hour, 2 hours isn't even that. I mean, you got to put it on at the beginning of the day, keep it on all day, and see if you want to keep it. You know, that's.
Well, it's it also says something about the personalities that are attracted to training, where we associate harder with better. So guys that might have all this bullshit on, you know. You're like, oh man, like I'm really sore, but this is a good sore. Like, no, that's a stupid sore. Yeah. You know, and I think that's like the military does a good job of like beating that into you with like carrying ounces, not pounds, kind of a thing. With the moment you have to live underneath the rucksack for, like you said, weeks at a time, your world changes, and you start to realize like, oh, there's a million different mag pouches out there, but I just need one that gets the job done. So find out what works for you, kind of a thing. Am I blowing my chance to get a mag pouch sponsor right now?
Probably. Yeah.
It's out the window.
So anyone that wants to, you know, give me Aaron's mag pouch thing, that's cool. You know, I'm still available. I didn't make any ugly comments.
That's exactly. Well, that's.
No, it is.
Same way I think.
It's functionality.
Yeah.
You know, it really boils down to, is this thing durable and does it work?
Yeah.
Beyond that, I don't need a bunch of stuff. You know, okay, here's a good one. How many people carried that giant knife? Because you need that giant knife.
To open your MREs
I see
with?
That, yeah, to open your MREs with. You know, when I could have carried a Swiss Army knife.
You're gonna piss off a lot of people.
No, don't get me wrong.
That.
So I'll give my story. I have a big knife. It's a solid titanium knife. It weighs almost nothing. To carry a big knife, I carry a big knife that weighs less than what a small knife weighs. And it's not a giant knife. I don't have a machete on my kit. I can see where you guys are going to go with that one next. But I have a big knife because there are things that I can use that knife for. I have a titanium knife because it is non-metallic, non-sparking, non-magnetic. I can do different things with it. It's very, very strong. So I have a tool that I can do multiple things with, but I tried to minimize, because it is a large size thing, a relatively large size to put on a war belt. I wanted it to be as light as possible, and I tried to look for other aspects of it that could work. So. Yeah. You know, it's just because you have real estate on a belt or a vest does not mean that you have to fill that real estate with some type of a piece of kit.
Yeah.
But it's common, for sure. I mean, we see it. You see it with students. You see it with cops. You see it with all kinds of tactical people. But it really comes down to, like you said, do you ever wear that for a long period of time? Mm-hmm. Do you ever cart that up and down mountains?
Yeah.
Because it sucks. It sucks bad. I'd rather have weight on something that stops bullets than something that carries my cell phone or another water bottle. I can only drink so much water.
Yeah, it's well, we're gadget prone. Like, you know, a lot of the stuff that's come out recently, you know, some of it does look really cool. Some of it is purposeful too, you know, and that gear-based solutions mindset is maybe not always the best direction to go in. Like, I know a lot of the SWAT cops that I work with, you know, they will say, you know, readily that their leadership loves to buy them new equipment that they don't need, whether it's like some kind of breaching tool or some kind of like surveillance stuff, or, you know, they try to craft a mission around, like, we got to use that cool piece of gear, and it's like,
finally!
Yeah, it's like, but it cost us another 8 hours on the call out, and, you know, like, we didn't have to do that, you know, we could have done. So it's not just the guy at like the low level with too many pouches on it. It's a mindset that can, you know, slowly deteriorate, you know, what your focus should be at, you know, multiple levels, you know, different organizations.